Hello and welcome to Daily Upgrade with Jason Andrews. My name is Jason Andrews and I am a hypnotist, which is great because I know how to change things on the inside to make things better, to make you better. And today we're going to go through an AI anxiety elimination chatbot. Now, I'm creating this because a lot of the things I can do, no one else can really do. Therapists can't do it. Other coaches can't do it. A lot of this stuff is I'm one of the only people who can do this, and that makes it quite um, inaccessible sometimes to work with me because I can do things at such a level that not everybody can handle it. Not everybody can afford it. But there's a lot of people who are suffering from anxiety. So that's what this AI chatbot is about. Now, this cannot do what I can do, but it's probably about a 20 to 30% of what I can do live, right? The chat bot is text on a screen instead of a voice. There's no me there talking to you, right? And I can do some really impressive things with that. I can't do that in the chat bot. But that being said, there are some things that the chat bot can do quite well. And it's still going to be much better than almost any standard therapist you go to. So we're going to walk through it, and I'm going to show you what a session is like. Now it's in beta test mode right now. It's $5 for 1 month. I have to charge something. I can't make it free, so it's just $5 for 1 month of beta testing. But after that, it is going to go up. But I want you to test this. If you're interested, I want you to test this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through it, and I want you to follow along, and you can go through this with me with your own answers to the questions so you can experience it for yourself. And what's going to happen is your levels of anxiety are probably going to go down. You're going to experience this for yourself. All right. So let's begin. To start, you go to, this is the temporary name. The name's going to change. But for now, it's jasonbot.vercel, VERCEL dot app for app. All right. Now, you might need to sign up before it'll work, but you would just click new session, which is what I did here. All right, now everybody can see this, right? Yeah. Now, the first thing you're going to notice, I'll summarize what's written here because I think you can see it. You know what? Actually, let me make this a little bit bigger here. Yeah. Now, a couple things to note here. This is not designed to listen to somebody vent or to help somebody cope or to manage a crisis. It's designed to resolve a problem entirely through shifting the way you experience things on the inside. And if you know anything about me, if you followed me for any length of time, you know that that's what I do. I don't help people cope. I don't help people manage. I solve the problem permanently. I don't offer you a kind of, just keep talking to me forever. No, defined period of time will fix the problem, right? So I want to make sure everybody understands that. So I'm going to say, yes, I understand that. All right. Now, this is a standard disclaimer. I am a coach, right? I don't do therapy. I do coaching. Same thing with this. So I'm going to say yes. Make this just a touch smaller. There. Now here, this is interesting. It's telling me some things that it knows that are going to be true. You're here because you want to change some things. You probably have some sense that you could be doing better. Right? Is this not true? I think this is true. Maybe you have an idea of what's holding you back. Maybe you've done things to address it. You've talked to therapists or professionals. Maybe you were disappointed with the results you got, or maybe you didn't get results at all. But you're here now, and I can guide you through some discussions. All right, that Jason uses with his live clients. So let's discover what benefits we can get. So I'm going to start by saying, okay, what can you help me with? All right, right now, we have anxiety reduction and overcoming past mistreatment or painful experiences. We're going to expand that quite a bit in the future. So for this one, I'm going to say anxiety. All right. Ask a couple of quick questions to figure out the best approach. Do you have a specific event or situation that triggers anxiety, a particular memory, a person, an upcoming event, or is it more of a general free-floating anxiety that doesn't seem tied to anything specific? So I'm going to say, let me think of what I want to pick here. I'm going to say it's a specific thing. Now, is this anxiety about something that already happened or something that hasn't happened yet? And I'm going to say it's happened before, but it's a recurring thing. I'll say it's a recurring event. Now, have you figured out what I'm going to say yet? Yeah. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to say there's stress or pressure or anxiety related to any and all kinds of social media. That's what I'm working on right now. And it's not as bad for me as I'm going to make it seem for this demonstration. Okay. So bring that recurring situation to mind. And on a scale of 0 to 10, how bad is the anxiety? And I'm going to say, let's say somebody has social media stress or anxiety. I'm going to say that's about a 5. When you think about that situation and notice the anxiety, where do you feel it in your body? Okay, so let's say I'm thinking about how social media stresses me out. I'm going to say, okay, when I think about that, that's kind of in the it's kind of in the pit of my stomach. Now, if that feeling in the pit of your stomach had a shape, what shape would it be? If I think about it, it's kind of a blob. It doesn't really have a well-defined shape. Now, if you're following along with me, your answers might be different. So go with your own answers on this. And if that blob had a color, what color would it be? Okay, it's a very dark blue or purple, almost black. Let's see. It's about this big. What is this about the size of like a? I don't know. It's not a soccer ball. It's kind of like a cantaloupe sized. I'll say that. It's about the size of a cantaloupe. I think I spelled that right. Is it moving or is it still? It's mostly still, but it pulses a bit. This is my own experience, right? Yours is going to be a little bit different. Does it make any sound? Yeah, it kind of buzzes. I hear a buzz when I think about this. You could touch it, what would it feel like? Like rough canvas for me. So we've got a dark blue purple blob about the size of a cantaloupe sitting in your stomach, pulsing, buzzing, rough like a canvas. That's kind of my experience. Now, if you could change the color of that blob to something lighter, what color would you change it to? So let me think about that for a moment. It's a dark blue, so I'm going to say a lighter blue would probably be better. Nice. Okay, let it shift to that lighter blue now. And what happens to the feeling? Interesting. I can feel the difference. All right. It's fighting the color change, but when it turns to light blue, it feels a lot lighter. What happens to the size of it when it turns that lighter blue? It's about the same size, but it doesn't hold its shape anymore. What happens to the buzzing? Okay. This is true to my experience. I'm going to tell you exactly what's really happening. The buzzing changes to a hissing sound like air is escaping a balloon. Okay. Okay, as it keeps doing that, it swells up and then shrinks again. It seems like something is trying to pump up the balloon as at the same time as it deflates. Is this interesting? This is fascinating to me to observe my own process here. Okay, what's happening to the color as it goes through that tug of war? It seems to alternate between lighter and darker. Which direction does it seem to be trending? It's definitely lighter than it was. As it gets lighter, what's happening to that pulsing? Right, the pulsing gets faster, like it's trying to either squirm out of the out of the change or just deflate faster. Wow, this is so fascinating to me to see my own process here. Just watch it. What's happening to the size now? All right, well, let's see here. If I think about it, I think it's getting smaller. As it gets smaller, what's happening to the color? The dark color seems to be dissipating and it just gets smaller and smaller. It's about the size of a grapefruit. We're going with the fruit metaphors here. Keep letting it go. What happens next? Okay, now it's about the size of a baseball. Let's see. What is going on? Now it can't seem to hold its shape really at all. It's kind of a amorphous. Could you guys see my shoulders relaxing while this is going on? I can feel it happening. My shoulders are just, The shape itself is dark, but it's just a lot smaller. The surroundings are all light now. Oops. It, let me type that in again. What's the color doing? It stays dark, but the dark part is just much smaller. The surroundings are light now, though. What happens if you just let that remaining dark part dissolve into the light around it? It's really fighting hard. I can feel the resistance. This really does not want to change. As it fights, the dark part seems to be using up its energy. Again, I gotta do this right. As it fights, the dark part seems to be using up its energy. It's a bit bigger than a golf ball. Whoops. Now it's spinning. It seems to know it's on its way out. Okay, now it's even smaller. Even smaller, like a walnut size. I can feel this happening in real time. That's wild. All right, it's just cracked open. It just cracked open. Wow. Really nasty, dark goop. It has nowhere to go, so it just kind of floats there. This is so cool. Okay, now that did it. Okay, it's gone now. Wow, that feels different. What's in that same space? Okay, an empty space with a bit of residual gunk. Wow, okay. Maybe a 1, but that's just the residual gunk. There's nothing there anymore. It's a 0. You sure you want to keep it that way? Because we can put it back the way it was. No, I want to keep it this way. The one that used to trigger the anxiety. What happens when you bring it to mind? Okay, now this is going to be, what was I talking about? See, I can't even remember what happened. What was it? It was social media. Yeah, stress about social media and concern that I was addicted to it, or the time suck or time waste. And what happens when I bring that to mind now? I don't really feel anything about it one way or another. Cool. You shifted the structure of how that experience lives inside you, and that's why it feels different now. Situation didn't change, but the way your mind holds it did. If it ever starts to creep back in, you know the process. You can do this again. Is there anything else you'd like to work on today? I'm going to need to let this settle for a bit. I'm I'm good for today. All right. Thanks, Jason Bot. So, pretty cool stuff, right? I mean, that was a fairly complex one. That was a fairly complex example. And I deliberately made it more complex than it really needs to be because I wanted to show you that it's not just a dumb chatbot. Like it understands how to handle things, it understands the conversation flow. And it does real work. It does real work and real change. Now, like I said, the aim is for this. We're going to polish this up. We're going to give it a few more things a few more challenges to be able to address properly. Right? We're going to add a few more things it can do, and then it's going to be offered. Okay. Now, right now, it's $5 for 1 month of beta testing. After the beta test, it's going to be more than that. It's probably around 50 to 100. I want it to be accessible so people can get the help they need. At a kind of accessible rate. Now, look, it can't do all the things that I can do. So if you want the best results, send me a message because I still work with clients on this stuff. But I'm transitioning into working more with people who are already at the okay and want to move up, right? Because there's things where it's like, okay, yeah, there's this thing that's wrong and I want to fix it. Yeah, okay. Now I've been doing that for decades. I got it down. I can fix that stuff real easy. But I want to move. I also want to do things like somebody's like, you know what? I'm here in my career. I want to move up to here. Or like, you know what? My relationships are pretty good, but I want to crank it up to the next level. Right. That's where I really want to that really charges me up and excites me. And that's what I want to target. So this is going to take some of that. Now, if you can think of someone who might find this useful or interesting, right? Someone who maybe has some challenges with anxiety and they want a quick and what's the right word? Like it's not a big production to sign up and start the chat, right? That's a very easy thing to do. And if you could think of somebody who could benefit from that, or maybe yourself, try it out. Now, if you try it out, let me know what your feedback is. This is still beta test version. This is not complete. This is not polished. If you find something that it's doing that's screwy or wrong, please let me know because that's going to really help me make this even better. And I want this to help a lot of people. That's my aim. I want to help a lot of people with this. So, all right. Well, tomorrow's going to be Wednesday. I know this came later in the day because I had to wait for a couple of tech fixes. But tomorrow is Wednesday, and tomorrow morning at 8:30, we're going to do an induction for the Experiencing the Infinite Love of the Universe. Those are always amazing. Join me tomorrow at 8:30.